All right. I was going to talk about this movie the moment that this was going to be released. I originally thought that this movie was going to come out in theaters. I thought this film was going to be having a select viewing from independent movie theaters, and or some movie theaters will pick it up and test the waters before actually releasing into major theaters. It happened with the original movie, where the movie was in selected theaters, but had such a strong word of mouth that it got spread out into other major movie theaters to the point where even the Academy started recognizing it for more than just a foreign film. I'm talking about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I never thought, before I move on, before I even get to this review, I never thought they actually would do a sequel. I heard rumors about it. It was thrown into the waters for many, many years. And then when they actually gave word that they actually was going to do a sequel, and one of the major stars was actually going to reprise her role, I said this is going to be very interesting. I didn't know what was the subtitle was going to be. I didn't know how it was going to pull it off. I didn't even know it was going to get a major release because a lot of places didn't really talk about this movie. Didn't really spread the word. I didn't even think we was going to get an American release because, like I said, this is more of an of a Asian film that pretty much will stay concluded in their own market, and we'll probably get it, but only through video release. So I never really thought in a million years that Netflix, out of all people, will pick up this property and release it as a Netflix original. And my God, am I glad they did. This is a fantastically well shot movie. And let me tell you something. When I first saw the first Crouching Tiger film, I didn't have the high expectation. I didn't believe in the word of mouth until I actually saw it and say, "Yeah, this is a big deal. This is a great film, worthy of the word Best Picture." Even though a lot of people were trying to keep it off the Best Picture in the Academy at that time because it was a foreign film. But my goodness, did that film start a new trend? Even though it was short-lived, of bringing a lot of Asian movies that would probably never got an American release into some of these big screens. One of the most famous one is Hero with Jet Li. Cloud and Hidden Dragon Sword of Destiny is that follow up to this movie. It takes place years after the first one, pretty much the same timeline between the first one and now. And this film, without spoiling anything, having to do with a sword. This sword is supposed to be one of the most powerful swords at the West Lotus One. This is the villain, which actually played by an actor who the last time I seen him in any film was Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, where he played the Bruce Lee character Bruce Lee. That was the last time I've seen him. So seeing him in this in the role he was in was actually kind of relieved. They say, hey, he's still doing stuff. He's still keeping himself in the radar. He put up a very good performance, despite the fact that he really didn't have much screen time. But the person I really wanted to see, the person I really wanted to see if she have evolved from the first film, Michelle Yang, which to me she was fantastic in this film. You can tell the effects of the original movie really weighed in this movie. What has happened to her journey, and what led her to be what she is. And she has a lot on her plate. She was summoned by a father of an old friend's son, and she's been asked to protect the Sword of Destiny, which by legend can is the only if ones who wield the sword can be considered unbeatable. This is what the legend said. Little did they know, there's other stuff going on. We have the this young female who later became her apprentice, who also wore the sword for revenge of the death of her mother. And you also have this kid who is supposed to be this soldier, was sent on a suicide mission to retrieve the sword, only to find out that he, along with this girl, is connected in some way. I'm not going to give the spoilers. I want you guys to see the movie if you can on Netflix, which I will get to my major gripe. Not with the movie, but the way this was released. And it has to be said. It has to be said, especially with this movie. Let's get on with the thing here. This movie is brilliantly shot. I mean, when the moment you see it, within the first 30 seconds, you're in for a treat. The scenery, the scale, the landscape, the attention to details in this Asian world is phenomenal. You get no complaints from me from that. The fighting in this movie, the fight scenes, the action scenes, well shot, well lit. The cameras did a fantastic job catching every little detail of the fighting stuff. The teachings, which was done brilliantly by Michelle Well, Michelle Yao, who actually really did steal the show. I mean, let's keep it real. She was one of the major focal points of this movie, and how she's teaching the apprentice, you really was engaged about this. You really was engaged in how she's teaching her and what she's teaching her. But most importantly, the side characters was fun to look at. It's not one of those side characters where they come in and they're all mean and brooded and they dare to do a job and whip ass and take names. No, these guys are fun because number one, they regular guys. They're regular guys just want to hang out. They get drunk together. They have a good time. They laugh together. But they're there to protect. They're there for a purpose. They're there for a cause, and you really do feel for them, especially the impact that they go throughout this entire film. I needed to say there's a lot of stuff happening, and you will be rooting for these characters to go through from beginning to end. There's a lot to really take into this movie. There's a lot to be taken to this film, and I will say this: not only did it really does well, let's put it this way: not only did they did a great follow up to this film, but I felt that throughout the years, I didn't think they was going to do a sequel, but I'm glad they did because it really was well done. First off, let me explain why it was well done. One, they didn't try to do a cookie cutter copycat of the original movie. You can easily tell that this had a different story, it had a different feel, it had a different vibe, and you're going through the motions of every character. Every character has something going. These are not perfect characters. Every character in this movie is flawed. Every character has suffered a great deal in the past, and every character has something to fight for. You understand why Michelle Yao is pretty much isolate herself, pretty much exile herself from a lot of stuff that's happened. And especially if you see the first film, you understand why she really was even hesitant to train this young apprentice who she knows there's something more to her than what was than meets the eye. But again, she wants to train her not because she felt obligated to, because she wants to save her, because she herself sense she's going down a very dark path. And what is that dark path, you may ask? Revenge. The theme of this movie is very, very strong. Revenge. A lot of people have a reason. Michelle, she's feeling the mourning of the death of a person who miraculously came back to life in this one. You have this young girl who's also seeking revenge. You have a lot of stuff here, seeking for honor, seeking the truth. But everything here falls into place. The revenge theme, redemption theme, a theme of belonging to someone, a theme of fulfilling a promise. Everything fits here, and unlike where a lot of stuff gets jumbled in, this one blends in perfectly. The screenwriting in this movie really, really shines in this film because again, they could have easily went the route of this showing nothing more than senseless action, senseless violence, which a lot of these films tend to do in this occasion. But this film took the time to not only show the action, but show the motivation behind what's going on. You see the motivation between one side and the other side. You see the motivation that led to the climactic finish. So there's a lot of stuff there, but it's not just thrown at you. They take the time to explain, get to know the characters, get to know their motivation, get to know their sense of purpose, and this is very important, especially for a film like this. Crouching Tiger did a good job with this in the original film. It really did a good job in this movie, and it really, I'm very excited about this film. If you guys can hear me, I'm very hard to get my thoughts together, but this is why sometimes you don't want to do a review fresh from seeing it, but I can't help it. This film really, really excited me. I never felt this happy for a kung fu / Asian film in a very long time. I really had a good time watching this film. I sat down, ate my popcorn with a couple of friends of mine, and we just had a ball with this movie. I really, I was surprised how good the first one was. I'm even surprised at how good the sequel was. The sequel really lived up to his name. If I have any gripe of this film, it will be because it's probably too short for me. I've actually wanted this to be longer. This is the kind of film that I actually could sit there and watch it for 2.5 or maybe 3 hours longer. That's how short the film is. It's not short in terms of 80 minutes long, but it is pretty much an hour, probably 24 minutes, hour and 24 minutes, which to me is kind of short because, again, everything is falling into place so much that you actually want more. I wanted to see more of this world. I want to see more of these characters. I want to see more of the performances that a lot of these Asian actors and actresses have pulled. The stunts and what made Crouching Tiger so great in the beginning is they made high flying action cool. They actually kept this. It was scaled down a lot to for story development, which I think that's the only disappointment I think a lot of people's gonna have because it's not as high flying all over the place as the first one did, but it didn't need to be that, and that was something I'm kind of glad it actually scaled down. You seeing good action, you seeing good fighting traditionally, just as much as you've seen all the flying action. You're gonna see it. There's no question you're gonna see it. This is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, for Christ's sakes. You're gonna see it, but it's not as in your face as the first one was. This is a story driven movie. Make no mistake about it, but it's so well balanced. It knows when to pick up the pace, but it also knows when to slow down for character development. And a lot of films who does these type of action films, you can tell they always substitute one or the other. You never had that full balance. This film has the balance. There's really nothing much I can say except, again, I just wish it was a lot longer. What's my rating for this film? 3.5 out of 4 stars. I wanted to give it 4 stars, but there were some things that I kind of like, damn man, they could have just done it a little better. It's pretty much within the middle of between the first and second act. That was the only thing that I pretty much said, damn, you could have just been like a little bit more better. You would have got that 4, but 3.5 stars is, don't get that wrong. It's still a great film. I think those who are fans of the Crouching Tiger movie, the original, will absolutely love this film. And I think for those who've never seen the first one, which you should, because it did set a trend for a lot of other Asian films, even though not many of them had success as the Crouching Tiger did. This one should be seen because it's just that good. I think this is actually the first refreshing sign that we may see more of these Asian films be put on, if not theaters, but on streaming, and deservedly so. With that being said, Netflix, man, you couldn't put this out in theaters, really, guys. Guys, you're doing a great job with some of these movies. It Beast of No Nation, a round of applause for you guys on that, and now getting Crouching Tiger, a Hidden Dragon back to the population in the U.S. and North America. I give you guys lots of props, but can you at least release it in theaters? If not for anything else, a limited release, certain selected theaters so everybody can see it. This is the thing that hurts Netflix a little bit because not many people do the streaming I think they hope would do. I'm not saying that they're doing anything wrong. I know they want to keep everything in house. The same thing with Amazon, even Hulu, which is starting their own little thing as well. But a film like this should be seen on the big screen. This film is screaming to be seen on the big screen. There is no reason why they should not be on the big screen. Release it there first, and then put it on your streaming. I think and I understand what the theaters are doing. They're basically having a major pushback of having movies being released in theaters and VOD because in their theory, why would anybody would go to the theaters and pay $15 plus whatever overpriced popcorn and soda is, where they can just sit at home and watch it on Netflix? To me, but there are just certain films that don't need to be on. This is not a straight to video movie. I'll put it that way. Let's keep it right. Let's keep it real. Video on demand is straight to video. That's all it is. That's what it is. It's almost like straight to video cassette or straight to DVD. It's straight to video. That's all it is. You're basically putting it right home and not having the masses watch it. This is a movie that definitely deserves a theater release. It should have been in theater release. And I think Netflix, you gotta at least make an effort to put some of your properties in these major theaters so people can actually enjoy the production and the filming and the cinematography and the acting. I'm pretty sure if this was actually promoted and actually was pushed hard enough, and Netflix makes it their business to release it in theaters first, not have it both ways, I think people would actually go and watch it. I think a massive people actually go and watch it and watch the beauty of this movie. Again, I cannot stress it enough. I think they actually shortchanged themselves putting on streaming a little because there will be some people like me who will do everything, whatever it takes, to watch this film. But there will be others who, one, didn't even see the first film, and two, well, pretty much don't even know unless they saw a theater poster in a train like I did, because that's how I realized this film was actually out, and the posters came late. Keep in mind, we're in March 13th. This is the day I'm recording this. This is the day, actually, a few minutes ago, I actually watched with a friend of mine. They didn't put the posters out until last week. And the release date was actually the last week of February. That's not good promoting. That's not good at all. All right, you don't promote something like that. You don't promote something last week and it was actually out a few weeks ago, especially those who don't even know it. Unless people have a paid subscription to Netflix and you just gave them an email saying Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is released, not many people's going to know this film has came out. That's not good promoting. I didn't see this on no television set. I didn't see nothing promoting even on YouTube. I'm pretty sure there are some out there, but it's not widely talked about. Word of mouth is still a strong, viable piece of promotion. If I don't know the film exists and I didn't see the film, how can I actually talk about it? It's still the strongest point here. And I'm pretty sure there are some reviews out there, but it's going to be just like Chirac. It's going to be just like Beast of the Nation. Very little people is going to talk about this because very little people have seen it. And at least with Chirac, there are some people who actually saw it on the big screen, but there's going to be a lot of people who didn't see it on the big screen, and they're not going to talk about it because they didn't see it, period. Yeah, there are going to be some who see it on Netflix. Yeah, there are going to be some who's going to see it on major streaming, but that's a very few and far between. I seriously doubt I'm going to see too many reviews on Crouching Tiger, and that's kind of a sad statement because this film deserved that word of mouth. And unfortunately, I think you guys hurt yourself a lot more for not really properly promoting it. That's just my feedback for you guys. Look, overall, I'm glad you're bringing these movies out because I always felt that there were some foreign films that are just as good as the American counterparts. And I think these films should be seen by massive audiences. This is one of the movies. But it's kind of hard to do that when you are pretty much isolating yourself to one medium. You should really expand it, release it in theaters for a while. Keep these guys kind of happy. I know that's been a big issue with the theaters, but just make it know. We won't put it real streaming. You guys make your money. When after a certain while you pull it, and then after a while you put it on streaming, and even add a little extra feature because you guys have the power to do that. Streaming, you can add scenes that wasn't seen in theaters, or actually have a little bit more extra, like special commentary as part of the menu package. There should be no reason why you can't do that. So I think personally, my feeling is Netflix, and just for the record, for the last few years, you guys have been doing a great job with original content, with expanding your library with original movies. Keep doing that, but also do a better job of making sure people hear about it. Not everybody look at Netflix. I'm sorry to tell you this. And if you want to see these films get the credibility they have, especially in the award shows, you need to start expanding and realizing that a broader audience must see it to get the recognition it deserves. This film deserved that recognition. With that being said, again, 3.5 stars. You will not be disappointed with this film, especially if you're a huge fan of the first Crouching Tiger. Again, I cannot believe they made the sequel, but my God, am I glad they did, because I was in for a fun ride when I saw this film. Again, for those who have seen it on Netflix, for those who have viewed it yourself, I must ask, did you like it or didn't like it? Let me know in the comment section. I'd like to know your own opinion about this. But until next time, guys, it's J77 saying take care, be safe, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.